Hi, how are you doing? This is Travis from Curiosity Marketing Group, and today I'm going to show you how to edit various parts on your website. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do is go to your domain and type in /login. So for instance, go like this, and it'll take you to the login page where you can type in your login information. If you currently don't have something, we can certainly provide that to you. Alright, let's see. Alright, fifth time's the charm. Okay, so once you're in, you'll see the dashboard, and there's just some kind of general information about your website and some other like WordPress events. So the first thing we'll talk about is the slider section up here. So if you go over to Soliloquy and scroll down till you see the home header and hit edit. This is where you can edit the photos on your home page here. So what you'll do is if you wanted to delete one, you can hit the little X here. If you want to reorder them, once you see the move icon, you can drag them around however you please. If you want to add something new, you can hit select from other sources, which will bring you to your media library. And in here, you can just select on the photo that you want, hit insert into slider, and you'll have it there. If you want to select one from your computer, you can do that, and then you just need to navigate to where the photo is, hit upload, and it'll upload it. Whenever it's done uploading, it'll put it here. Sometimes it takes a little bit just depending on the size of the photo. If there's any information you want to edit, you can edit it within here. And then, like I said, if you want to get rid of it, you can hit the little X icon, and that'll get rid of it. And then whenever you're done making changes, just make sure that you hit update so that it reflects on the home page. The next thing we'll talk about is this little about section and the section over here for the specials and deals. So if we go to pages, go to front page, which is the home page, and hit edit or hit the title and let that load. You'll see you've got the about paragraph. There's also event paragraph, which I'll show you in just a second. And then all you do is you just come in here and make your edits. It's very similar to like a Word document, so you can delete things, you can make them bold if you want, italicized. There's bulleted lists. You can link things if you want. There's even link options to where you can make it like an external link. And then once again, whenever you make the edits, just make sure you hit update. The next part will be the specials and deals, which is this section over here. Excuse me. So currently this is the only one that we have going. So let's say if we wanted to make edits to this, we could. We just hit edit or hit the title once again, and come in here and make whatever kind of changes you are. And this is the same sort of editor that we were just talking about on the previous page, so you can do all the same sort of things. If you wanted to add a new one, you can hit add new, type in the name of it, type in what information has to, what it pertains to. So like, you know, $2.95 for 3 nights, if there's a code, which most likely there is, when it's valid, and any other kind of information that you would like. So it'll be displayed here, and then it'll be displayed on the deals page. The event little paragraph that I was talking about on the home page, that goes here. So the next thing we'll talk about is the actual events. So if we go to events, there's a lot of different options here. There's a lot of different things that you can kind of play around with, but what we can do, and it looks like you've actually already started some of this, which is fantastic. So that lets me know that it's kind of a great tool to put your events. But let me go into one of the ones that you created. So it looks like you put your title. Yep, all your information is here. You can categorize it if you like. So, you know, like kind of a parent category may be Gilmore Resorts, and then the specific spot where it's at, if it's on property or off property, or you know, that sort of thing. You can change the colors here. So if you have a specific category that's you know, specific to a certain color, you can do that, and then as people visit your site, they know that, oh, orange means X. And then further down is all your event details. There's a lot of different options here that you can play around with, just to kind of generalize over each of them. You got a subtitle if you'd like to put that. This is all about the times and about the event dates, if it's repeating, if it's not repeating, what time zone it is, so on and so forth. And then you've got locations and organizer, which have basically the same sort of information, except for the locations. You can make Google Maps, and you can hide the location name on event cards, or that sort of stuff. Yeah, that about does it. And whenever it's all done, it should remove it from your calendar or from your events. And there's some other options up here. If an event gets canceled, or if you only want logged in users to see it for the time being, if it's a featured event. Even if you just don't want to show it on the calendar, you can do that as well. And they'll populate here. And then whenever you click on them, it'll show more information. The next part we'll talk about is the reviews. So if we go and click on reviews, and you'll notice we have a bunch of different either names of people or their user IDs, depending on where the review is pulled from. So let's edit this one. And you have the same sort of setup here. So this is the same sort of editor, and basically what we did is put in the quote from the user, and then we just bold their username. So if you look here, for instance, this gentleman was bold, and since we knew where he was located or she was located, we put where they were from as well, which I think is a nice little bit of information. Okay, so let's move on into the inner pages. So, for the rooms, if we go to, first thing I'll talk about is in Soliloquy. So you notice there's a bunch of sliders here, and they all have what's called a shortcode, which basically is just an easy way of taking all the kind of complicated code, compacting it, making it easy to put throughout the site. So the only thing that you really have to worry about if you create a new one is the shortcode here. And then if you hit edit or click on the title, this will work very similarly to the homepage. So you can add, remove, move them around, upload some new ones. There are these settings in here, so whenever you create a new slider, I would just make sure that you go through these settings and just make sure that they match the existing sliders, so that whenever you come into the rooms, they all look the same. So now, if we go to pages, and we go to rooms, so all of the rooms here, if you come down here, you'll see that we have room options. So for instance, let's look at this one, Driftwood Cabana Room, which I think I scrolled too far. So here's your Driftwood Cabana Room. You've got your room description, your slider, and then the Book Now button. So, title, your little description, that shortcode that we were just talking about, which will display the slider, button text, and a link. So some of them say Book Now, some of them say Call for Availability, which if you look at the bottom left hand corner of my screen, you can see that this one actually opens up the telephone. If somebody has the telephone kind of configured, so like either like a Skype or some sort of calling service on their computer, or even if it's mobile, it'll use their mobile phone. And you can move these around if you like. So the same sort of move thing, you just click, drag. You can remove them if you want. And then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can add more. If you have a new type of room or something along those lines. The last thing that we'll talk about on this page is this section up here. So we've got a featured image over here, which if we click on it, you can see that it is beachview.jpg. Just take note of these dimensions. If you swap the image here, you just want to make sure that it's the same dimension so that it fits nicely in the area designated for it. Next thing we'll talk about is amenities, which actually it's the same sort of editor that we've been talking about, the same kind of Microsoft Word editor. Talk about photos, which I believe is different, so let me go to that page real quick. So we'll hit edit. It looks like it is. Okay, so this is a gallery setup. So we click on the gallery, hit edit. You see there's a bunch of images in here. It works the same sort of way to where you don't need to worry about this. You just need to worry about the images here. So if you want to close, or not close one, if you want to get rid of one, you can hit the little X. If you want to move it around, you just click and kind of move around wherever you see fit. If you want to add one, you can hit add to gallery, which then takes you to the media library, which you've seen a couple different times. If it's not in here, then you can always upload it, and then once again you hit select file, it'll take you out to your computer. You just need to navigate where the photo is, hit upload, and then add it to gallery whenever you have it selected. The way that you know it's selected is when you click on it, there's a big blue box and a big check mark. Okay, so let's exit out of this. Next page is the events, which that is actually automatically populated. So if we click on events, you'll see that it's automatically populating it based on some of the event information that's displayed on the home page as well. And announcements is an area for sort of things like, hey, the water's going to be out between February 2nd and 3rd for scheduled maintenance or something along those lines. Or you could even put, I guess you could even put upcoming events on here, maybe a special sort of event, just something that you really want people to know about immediately as soon as they come to this page. The contact us is all kind of controlled within the contact form, so there's not really a whole lot to edit here. These link out to your various social media, and then the book now button goes to your booking software. And I think that's it. If there's anything that I missed or you have a question on, definitely feel free to give us a phone call or send us an email. Thanks.